In my opinion, the next big thing in typography is democratization. It's now something that everybody has access to, and I think everybody's going to start understanding it and using it, and it's no longer going to be a mystery. If you talk to the average 12-year-old these days, they talk about choosing the typefaces on their Kindles, and they talk about how I met one recently and she told me she uses Baskerville to read Jane Eyre and she chooses Futura to read her more instructional recipe books. The new generation now has access to it. For them it's a given that it's a choice, whereas when I was a kid I picked up a book and it was in the typeface that it was in, so it never even occurred to me that I had a choice. And then when we were using computers later on, then you started thinking about typefaces, but it was then something you discovered separate. Whereas now, the new generation are growing up with, so it's something that they actually choose, in the same way that they choose what shoes they're going to wear, they choose what typeface they're going to use that day. So actually there is a huge trend at the moment to a lot of the big organisations seem to be rebranding, and their logos are all becoming generic, rounded, or looking a bit like VAG rounded meets Arial rounded, so they all look friendly. But to my mind, they all look a bit childish and a bit simplistic. And I think they must have read the research that round feels friendly and people are more find it more approachable. But we actually like complexity. I'm really interested by the AirBNB branding in that I really like the way that they've given the logo over to everybody to play with. So if you don't like the fact that it looks childish or static or corporate, you can then go and draw your own version and you can make it look brightly coloured, or it's just there for you to actually play with and put your own emotions into. I think the whole trend towards responsive brands that users can actually access and play with, I think that is actually a really good example of letting people, the end user, change or mould what they're reading to suit them, rather than having it just presented to them as a fait accompli by the person who has created it. So I think it's a lot of fun. It's happening a lot at the moment. Maybe it's a trend that will calm down, or maybe it's one that will carry on.